little bit about being a chef in your personal life a little bit. Like when you go to parties or host parties, what is the like your mindset for a party you're hosting versus one you're attending, and what do you think about like other people think about you when they see you out and about? Like, why is Antoine not cater to this? Easier. Yeah. Like, how do you separate those two?
So, I mean, like, if I might get invited to like an event that like a friend is hosting or something. Usually they would reach out to me first. Okay. If they do have like that food option that they have in there. If not, I don't really take offense to it, right? Okay. Because everybody know what they want. Gotcha. Maybe they want something that I can't make, or they think that I can't make, right? Or if I told them I was probably busy. So, I mean, like I said, if I go to an event and it's another caterer there, what am I doing? I'm going over there and talking to that caterer, right? Okay. You can never have too much information, right? You can never have too much information. Like now, I'm talking to you and I'm learning about beers. So it's just like, for me, I look at every day as like a learning opportunity. If I see that, like for instance, I went up to Detroit not too long ago, helping my sister out with like an event. It was like, I think a 16th birthday party. It was a chef up there. He was, getting everything ready, doing the fruit layout and everything. I went over there and started talking to him. Like, when did you start like cooking? Like, I like the way you kind of like laid it out. Like, just getting tips and pointers from him, right? Because for me, even if he started cooking yesterday, he became a chef yesterday, that doesn't mean he doesn't have like knowledge, right? That doesn't mean I have more knowledge than he does. Right. That just mean he just started his career, at that particular time. So I look at every situation like that. I want to go and I want to mingle. I want to talk. Like, hey, like maybe we can collab. Like, maybe we can, share pointers. Like, I cook this way, you cook that way. It's just kind of like helping each other out. So I like to go up to caterers and talk to them. So I see that as a benefit of going to events that I'm not catering. And of course, if I'm catering, the benefit of that is just like people laughing and actually enjoying your food, right? Right. You can call me like that, that odd bod chef, just like to stare at people and shit. Because if you eat my food, I'm staring and I'm like, okay, I'm just trying to see if she gonna exactly. It's like, damn, did she just toss my plate? Like, so it's just like, I'm giving.
I gotta fight her.
Yeah. Give me a whole list together.
I was this ass before. I'll do it again, no problem.
Exactly, right. So it's kind of like for me, it's just like, eyeing those who pick up a plate, right? Just like when they take that first bite, it's just like doing that weird chef eye, just like squinting and looking, just like, okay. Biting into it. Oh, they actually enjoyed that. Like, because when you eat, your expression shows you if you like something or not, right? If I was to drink this beer and I go, kind of like look to the left or something, or kind of like scratch my head, it's like those indicators like, all right, this is not good. But if I drink that beer, I'm like,
It's like, oh, okay.
Or I'm just like, a lot of people get happy when they eat, right?
Yes.
So it's just like, so, when you eat something, you're just like, and then you see that person over there again is happy still. It's just like, okay, I've done my job. Right. But if you see that person over there, you throw the plate away and go smack Jimmy, you just like, what the fuck? Like, did my food just do that? Right. It's just like, damn, am I that bad? I also like feedback, like critiques. Like, I love it. You can tell me my food is nasty as ever, and I'm gonna love you for it. Because that's an opportunity for me to better myself, right? Right. It's not an opportunity. It's not you tearing me down. A lot of people don't take criticism like,
understand it.
Yeah, they don't. They say, oh, he's hating. Oh, like he said my food sucked. Like I know my food good. Just having like that big head. But for me, I'm humble. Like I'm just, it wasn't good. Tell me why it wasn't good. I want to see what I can tweak.
It, like, bad,
exactly.
Someone just saying it's just not good.
Right. I want to see what I can tweak in the recipe that I can make it better. Right. Gotcha. Because you don't want to sell bad food. Because if you sell bad food, that's a reputation. Like, oh, don't book Chef Twon. Like, when I booked them, like the food was horrible. Like my guest was like, what is this? So and I think that's really like that huge hurdle for chefs, right? That goes back to that number one rule: always taste your food before you serve it, because you will know if your food is nasty. Like you're not gonna that's not the word I'm really looking for, but you're not gonna pretty much go to someone and be like, I know this food good, even after you taste it. Just like, I think this can slide by. If you start questioning it, just like, I wonder if they're gonna like it, I wonder if it's too much salt, then this probably is. All right, so
that's a good rule of thumb, for sure.
Right, so if you start questioning everything about what you just cooked and you taste it and you still questioning it, like, this may can slide by. No, you don't want to serve anyone bad food.
Right. You don't want something just like acceptable, just like the beer, which I want to kind of dive into. Yeah. We're on to the second one, which is the Fat Bottom Brewery, which is here in Nashville, over in the Nations, which is like West Nashville for non-Nashville people. So it's the Teddy Love Pilsner. Okay. It's pretty much a traditional Pilsner, no frills, bready, light to the taste. You can drink this at the poolside, drink this with salmon or shrimp because it's on the lighter side. It's a good palate cleanser, and it doesn't overpower your seafood, and the seafood doesn't overpower the beer, which is what you kind of want in beer. So, and just talking about, like, we've talked about this just like off camera and working together and being friends. That was like, how are your dealing with like dating, like how are your expectations changed by women knowing that you're a chef? Do you let them know, or you just kind of be like, all right, I'm just hold on to this for a while because you don't want any certain expectations or anything? You rather know the person for you rather than, oh, they can cook me salmon anytime I want, and I can let him do what he wants. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Before I answer this, I'm gonna take a good chug of this beer because a lot of people have been waiting on this answer. A lot of people waiting on this answer, right? So just chug this beer real quick. So, dating life. That's a very, also before I get started, congratulations,
Thank you.
On your engagement.
Yes. We're engaged a little over a month. So by the time this airs, it'll be like about 2 months. So.
Yeah. So super excited for you. Can't wait to celebrate with you and Ashley as well. So
most definitely.
To dive into that question as far as dating as a chef. For me, on a personal level, I don't think it's difficult for me.
Okay.
I mean, especially
what's the most annoying thing? I don't want to say.
Oh yes.
I think that's the better question.
Yes.
You say it's not difficult. I was like, wait.
I love that.
Annoying, so.
I love that question. I love how you rephrase that because I have the perfect answer for you. The most fucking, and let me look in the camera. The most fucking annoying thing is jumping in the chef's inbox or any other guy that cooks or whatever and saying when you're gonna cook for me. Like, that's your first fucking thing you say. Like, for me, what's your name? Like, Natalie? Like, Christina?
What's your life goals?
Right.
Hey,
just like, your first thing, that's all you look at me and see is like, this guy's just gonna cook for me. Like, I don't want to know anything about this guy. Help, like, and you trusted me to cook for you. I feel like you should ask me more questions before you ask me to cook for you, right? You don't know what that person's capable of. He can, we just seen Cosby do with the drinks, right? So it's just like you asking a random person, random stranger, when you're gonna cook for me without even knowing a single thing about this person, right? Or introducing yourself on that type of level.
Right.
For me, I'd rather you say, hey, my name is such and such. Your food looks great. I would love the opportunity to try your food one day. Like, for me, I feel like, you just introduce yourself.
Right.
You didn't come off the bat and say, I would love for you to cook. I can't wait for you to cook for me, or I would love for you to cook for me. It's just like, you said you complimented my food. Mm-hmm. And then you put it, like, in the future, right? You didn't put it in present tense. You put it in the future. I would love to try your food one day.
Right.
I think that's a trigger.
Like some sort of like humanity
right.
to you a little bit.
Yeah, it's like that trigger word, like that one day, right? Instead of like, when you gonna cook for me?
Never.
Right. It's just like if a a woman, Ashley, you know, and this is definitely just, you know, hypothetically.
All right.
A woman jump in your inbox is just like, when you gonna bring me over some beers? Like, I would like to try some new beers. I feel like that's not how you approach that situation.
No.
Like, I feel like
comment on my pictures. I post beer all the time.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, you know, don't have that mentality where it's like, I want to actually introduce myself first. Like, you know, so actually I'm going to take it way back to like the TSU days when I was on the business side of everything. So, you know, when I was in business class, we called it a 30-second elevator pitch. So that basically you telling an employer about yourself in 30 seconds or less.
Gotcha.
Leaving out all of that grimy details. Oh, I was a soccer player in you know, high school and college and stuff like that. So just like 30-second elevator pitch. I feel like a lot of people don't have that skill of introduction.
Anymore, yeah.
Like, you know, it's just like they don't know how to talk to people, right? It's all social media based, right? And then when you write someone, you can take words how you see them. Like, I can look at a text message different than you can look at a text message. I can look at him like, oh, that person just disrespectful as fuck. And you can look at him like, oh, yeah, I love the energy in this text. Like, is this and that. Mm-hmm. So I feel like you can just misinterpret things with text, right?
You're and bad at words and just like communicating.
Yeah, exactly.
I can totally get that.
Yeah. Understand. So for me, I am an intro person. I love the introduction because I believe, you know, your first impression means a lot to a person, right?
That's true.
So it's just like, you know, when I first met you, it was like, damn, we clicked on basketball. We started talking about basketball, right? We started talking about like different shit, like outside of basketball, transitioned into different conversations.
Right.
And you can't do that.
I think I heard you talking about cooking. You were talking to someone else.
Yeah.
I overheard it.
Yeah.
I don't think we had like that, like official conversation. I was like, oh, that's dope.
Yeah. So it's just like, you know, having those, and I call those conversations like a flowing conversation, right? When they transition to one thing and they transition to another, but you guys are both on that same level, right? So I feel like, I know it's a long-winded answer to like the most annoying thing, but I really just want to get this off my chest. Just like, don't jump in the inbox and say, when you're gonna cook for me. Like, I mean, I understand I'm a chef, but also I'm a person at the same time. So it's just like, introduce yourself. I am super open to answering any questions, giving you any tips on like recipes. Probably won't give you my recipe right off the bat. I'm working, you know, I think a potential cookbook could be in the...
You don't give all your secrets, you know?
A cookbook could be in the future, you know, so if I give my recipes away, and it's like, you know, what value I have for my recipes.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, so a long way to answer is that's the most annoying thing.
What's the most, like, thing you appreciate most when like that does happen? You're like, oh, okay, they gave my inbox about cooking, but like, is it the introductory thing, or is it they have conversation, or they interacted in your posts? Like, what's a good way to reach out like that to a chef?
Yeah, so I like that question as well. So it kind of like, you know, kind of like weighing the good and the bad, right? So I love when someone writes me and say, hey, that looks amazing. They haven't tasted my food or anything like that. They just saying, hey, that looks amazing. And they approach it just that way as well. Or they just comment on it, you know, with the heart eyes or the fire emoji. Kind of like insinuating like this looks fucking bomb. Like, I love that. You know, I love feedback. I also love cooking for people. So it's just like when you jump in the inbox and say, when you gonna cook for me? It's just that intro that fucks me up. But it's like at the end of the day, I love cooking. So I wouldn't mind cooking for you. So a lot of the times now where I do is like when you're gonna cook for me, I send them my link, like my Twon's Bistro link. This is where you can book me. I do day nights. So I would say just like them, whoever they may be, just saying in my inbox, hey, this food looks good, or where can I book you, or like how can I book you, or what I need to do.
Gotcha.
So those things I love seeing in my inbox.
I see you still here. And guess what? Just for that, you got part 3. So if you want to see part 3, make sure you subscribe on www.thebeerdedbrother.com. $20 a month. You get to see the extra part, get a pint glass, and a few extra exclusive content that nobody else gets to see except you. So head on over to the site, subscribe, see the extra third part, and of course, drink up.